right around the corner. Less than 24 hours. Your team is about to change. Yup. And the Cowboys looking for the best case and the best scenario for their team. Be sure to hit that like, share this content. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Let's continue to grind to shine. Let's go. Turn me up. Jerry Jones. He looking for an all-star, baby. Rumor has it that the Cowboys are really pretty much fighting over Christopher Olave. So normally in that case, in that scenario, 9 times out of 10, it will be leaked out by tonight who the Cowboys are really targeting. I just got to get my inside sources together. I'll never forget my inside source when he told me that the Cowboys are drafting LVE. And I thought for sure he was off his rockers, right? You know, I didn't think that he would be right, but he was right, Cowboy Nation. So when my source get back to me, I'm going to get back to you guys. For real. No cap, by the way. No cap. We don't allow capping around here. We don't. So, with that being said, Cowboy Nation and everybody that's listening, if it is Christopher Olave, would you guys be okay with that? Or is that more of the same? Huh? Is that more putting lipstick on the pig? Huh? We'll find out, Cowboy Nation. I always tell them, bring it. We right here. We ain't going anywhere. Come on. Yep. Say ain't no party like a cowboy party. Yo. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. The name is Law Nation. And we had a beautiful episode last night. It was me, Big Game James, Boss Cowboy. The OC was still working on a few things, and he was looking at some tape, so he didn't get a chance to jump in because he had a lot of other things that was going on. However, tomorrow we'll be having a draft party. We'll be having a draft celebratory deal. And it is what it is. Shout out to you. Let me know if my audio is straight. Let me know if I'm not too loud. I don't want to be blowing your ears out, you know. But shout out to you, Marcus Warner. Appreciate you, Christopher Fraser. Appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that's on the Facebook group. Hey, it is what it is. This is the real question right here. We don't really. Do you really know who the Cowboys going to draft? Do you really know? That's the real question. And I'm going to tell you guys, nobody know. Nobody know. What he said, nobody knows it but me. I wish I could sing that song. I forgot who sang it. But you guys know, nobody knows it but me. I think it was Babyface. He sung that song, you know, and he was saying that nobody knows it but me. And shout out to you, Church Boy. Appreciate you, 33. Shout out to you, James. Thank you for jumping in. And Gina, appreciate you. So last night, we went over some scenarios and before I get into the Christopher Olave conversation and what he would do and what he'll bring to the table and team and everything. No. Bump that. Let me just get right to it now, all right? Brian Broadus said that there are guys fighting over the selection of Chris Olave. Now, if you guys go to the Cowboys.com website, if you go to their YouTube page, they did their 30-day visit video, and they highlighted a few of the guys. Treylon Burks, Zion Johnson, Kenyon Green, and Chris Olave was in there. And 9 times out of 10, if I'm a betting man, if I was to bet, I can tell you guys, off of this list right here, they will draft one of these guys. If you have $1,000 and if you want to bet against somebody and say, hey, I bet you the Cowboys will draft at least one of these guys off the 30 visit, you'll win it money. Just don't take all of their money, right? But that's the reality, Cowboy Nation. That is. So if you look at this list, and I kind of highlighted some of the guys that I really like and that I got a chance to look at their tape. And if you go back and look at this list again, Chris Olave, Drake London, Treylon Burks, Jeremy Ruckert, Zion Johnson, Kenyon Green, Jalen Watermeyer, Jelani Woods, Big Jordan Davis. You might have to squint your eyes to see on this list. But I'm telling you guys, one of these guys will have the star on the side of their helmet. Will have the silver and blue, right? And they will make a play. I'm just going to speak glowingly of those guys. We got the money for a guard. Shout out to you, Mr. Browns. Appreciate you, MVP. All right, VIP. I'm calling you MVP, but VIP. MVP of the VIPs. Law Nation, what's up, man? You know, Willie Day, what's good with you, Willie Day? Appreciate you, man. I can't wait till the season kick off so I can have some of you guys to call in and I can get some of your thoughts on this. Nevertheless, Cowboy Nation, this particular team will entertain at least one of these guys. They will have the silver and blue on. And for the record, I'm not mad at all about it. Now, the best case and the best scenario for this particular team would be to get that dynamic player that can make something happen. As much as we think about this team on a negative connotation, right? The positive aspect of it is grand. This team went 12-5 last year. I just got to keep reminding people that this team was 12-5 last year. Please hit that like button. Appreciate you guys sharing is caring. Not 5-12. And a lot of people will think that this team was 5-12. Well, Law, what are the holes on this team? And we can clearly see, yes, they have issues at guard. Now, as far as the wide receiver, in my opinion, it's not necessarily a need. You got CD Lamb. You just paid over $50 million for Michael Gallup. Although he will not be ready for week 1, week 2, week 3, maybe week 4, week 5. But he is a valuable asset to this team, right? So you wouldn't fork over your full future for 4 games, right? And that's why you're supposed to put James Washington out there to handle some of the weight. Excuse me, you have Simi Fehoko. So this team, as much as it may feel like you got holes everywhere, you really don't. And as much as we can bang on the table for this guy or that guy on the defensive side, I just don't see the Cowboys inserting a rookie in any of those spots outside of what we did with Parsons last year that's going to really take over on the defensive side of the coin. Believe it or not, if Jordan Davis come here, he will be a great situation for us, but, hey, he will have to fight and claw to get out there on the field. Law, what you saying? Well, you got to beat out Carlos Watkins. Hey, and Naval Gallimore, you may think that he's going to fold up like a wallet, but that brother is wide. And he's going to fight for that starting role. I recall last year, a lot of people were saying, hey, man, when Big Bo come in, he's going to be the starter. He's going to knock out this guy. He's going to push that out the way. And we realize it's the pros, baby. What you were doing in Kentucky ain't the same for the Cowboys. Appreciate you, Samuel. Appreciate you for jumping in. Stephen White, appreciate you for being part of this episode. Shout out to you, Lord Nova and MODA. Appreciate you. Thank you for jumping in. Denver beat us 30-0. Yep, they beat us in 30-0. This is from Dallas 8 and 9 M&M. Next scapegoat, appreciate you. I think the Cowboys did put up some markings on the Denver Broncos. But if when you contextualize it and you look at the full picture, you had Cooper, I believe he was just coming back from his ankle situation. And Gallup, I don't think Gallup was out there, was he? And Lamb, absolutely Lamb, didn't practice all that week. So when you contextualize it, I think that was their first game playing with Dak Prescott coming off of his injury or what have you. So when you look at everything, the first opening drive looked pretty good. They marched it all the way down the field. And then there you go. They went for it, and it was turnovers on down, and the momentum swung the other way. But I can guarantee you, from a level of success in a full year, Denver was looking at the Cowboys saying, man, we wish we were 12-5, right? We wish we were able to get to the playoffs. So I don't think that the Cowboys should look at one game out of a year and say, okay, this is where we lay our egg. This is where the egg falls on our face at. Just to give you guys some realness to it, the Cowboys never been undefeated, right? And even when they won the Super Bowl and lifted the Lombardi Trophy, there was always a few games that you look at and say, hey, man, what happened there?
Oh, no.
You know, what happened there? How you let this team beat you? You know, so a defining moment is always present and prevalent. So you should never look at one game and make your draft decision out of that, nor should you look at one player and say, I'm going to make my draft decision out of that. You should always look into this thing as the best player available. Let me know if I'm wrong. Like you said, this is my guy, Asmodeus. Everyone have a reason, but results are what matter, right? There's people right now that's watching this video, and their New Year's resolution was to lose weight. And in January, they hit the gym, they was working out, lost 4 to 5 pounds, and now they're 5 to 10 pounds overweight. What happened? You know, their mindset was to lose weight. Their mindset was to hit the gym. And they went strong in January and February. And then March hit. And they marched right to the plates, and they ate like it was madness, you know. So that's just to bring things home with that. So you should always still have your reason, but your results are necessary. And the Cowboys, when you look at this draft and you look at what they did since 2010, they have 9 All-Pros, not Pro Bowlers. We're talking All-Pros, which is not easy to do. But we looking for results, right? What if I told you that Michael Jordan, as great as he was out there on the field, and somebody can still say is, he didn't do it by himself. You can't point to me where he won a championship ring without Pippen. Just like as great as Troy Aikman, when you put on the silver and blue, you can't point to me a time whereas he himself won it all by himself, right? Like what do Troy look like without Emmett? And what do Emmett look like without the playmaker? So you got to start formulating a plan. And the best scenarios for this is to make sure that everybody's rooted in during the off season. And when they get out there for the real tangible things to happen as it relates to the regular season, that these boys are ready. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to you, Javion Jones. What's good, man? Thank you, everybody, for jumping in. He says, shout out to Defy. Shout out to Defy. What Defy got over there? Dak can manage the game like Troy. Yeah, and this is from my guy, Lobo. I'm looking for a guy that can manage the game. I'm looking for a defense that can give the ball back to the offense. And speaking of that, let me pull this one up. This was from last night. My fellows, my contemporaries, my brothers, as relates to the silver and blue. They kind of talked me into a little bit about trading back from the 24th spot. And at first, when they said all of that, I was looking at those boys like, man, you must be out of your goddamn mind. I said, man, I'm not finna move back for nobody. No. And they ultimately went through this draft process, and I was hanging around with them. And they moved all the way back to the 31st pick. Matter of fact, the 29th pick at the time, looking at this chart, Chris Olave was just hanging out at the 29th spot. Like, come on, what world is this, right? And they went and drafted with the first pick of the 2020-22 draft, the Cowboys select Breece Hall. And I was like, man, these boys are crazy. I was like,
get your damn act together.
I was like, come on, man, what's going on? And he kind of put it down like, hey, he's a 4'3" guy. He's 6'1.5". He runs like Jonathan Taylor, blah, blah, blah. And he can block too, Cowboy Nation. He can block. And you look at the contract of the Ezekiel Elliott, he got one more year off of it. And then you can pretty much start to paint the scenario for the 2023-2024 year to start, saying, hey, Zeke. And, of course, with Tony Pollard, they went into great details. You have to watch the show from last night. I wasn't down with it, right? But then the 56th pick hit. The Dallas Cowboys select Trey McBride. I said, oh, wow, it's going to be beautiful out there because now we can get back to 12 look, right? And I don't see the rest of the thing. Let me just zoom in just a little bit further so that everybody, let's just zoom in even bigger so that people don't have to squint their eyes. I know this hurt you when you look at this mock draft, but neither here nor there. I was like, all right, cool. We got our tight end, and that's an area that you probably have to look into, right? The tight end situation and scenario. And we still have issues at that front five. The offensive line is the only unit in the National Football League that everybody have to be on the same page. Everyone have to sing from the same hymnal. Everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, knows that the football team, as relates to a complete unit, is the offensive line. You see, you can have an isolated good wide receiver. You can have an isolated good running back out of the backfield. You can absolutely have an isolated tight end, good tight end, a good quarterback. But far as the offensive line, it's not like the defensive line. You can have one guy on the defensive line that you can still eat. But the offensive line, baby, all of those boys got to be on the same page, singing from the same hymnal, as old folks would say, right? So when they turn the page such and such and it's lift every voice, it's not Amazing Grace, right? Everybody is turning to the same page. And these guys got to lift every voice and sing until earth and heaven rings. And I'm going to tell you guys, if there's one weakness on the offensive line, the defense will sniff it out. And they would penetrate and figure out a way to get to that quarterback. If you think I'm lying, one year we played against the Atlanta Falcons, and we made Adrian Claiborne look like the reincarnation of Reggie White, mixed in with Aaron Donald. Y'all think I'm lying? Come on, go back and watch that game, by the way. You are only as strong as your weakest link. And the Cowboys have that big glaring hole on the offensive line, and we need to fill those areas. But you should not reach for it, right? But neither here nor there. They went and got a Tyler Linderbaum with the 62nd pick. I would never think that he would fall all the way to the 67th pick, the 62nd pick. Just like when DK Metcalf shoot, when he was out at the Ole Miss, he was running, everybody was saying DJ and AJ, them boys, DK, I meant to say DK and AJ, those boys finna get drafted in the first round. But they dropped. And sometimes these players will drop and still be phenomenal, depending and predicated upon which team they go to. All right, so, and with the 88 pick, the Cowboys went with Marquise Hayes. Now, before you guys pull out the butter knife and begin to shank me, or before you guys say...
Now, so the cocaine's happening. When does that crack come into play for you?
Right. Before you guys start saying that or what have you, think of this. A lot of people listen to all of the pundits, the critics, and whatever, the 4-letter, the 3-letter network, or who their favorite content creator may be, and they will listen to them and they will walk with them, right? Instead of turning on the tape for themselves, they become miniature sheeps and they will echo and repeat what said person done said without doing their own homework. But when you start doing your own homework and you start looking up film, you start looking at the tape and studying it, you realize, oh, this guy can anchor in. Oh, this guy finishes. Oh, this guy had 37 starts at left guard, right? At guard play. So you could say, okay, will it be a situation and scenario that Marquise Hayes is drafted by the Cowboys? Will he be able to fight for that role? Yes. He's not going to lay down at 6'5", 330 pounds. He's not going to do that, right? And the whole notion, the ideology of having a smaller guy inside as your guard play is all gone now, right? He's gone on to Miami, and I really think that Connor Williams will have a successful year in Miami because of the style and the approach on how they approach to the game, right? But that's the story of a different day. There's water under the bridge. All right, moving down further. If you look at Tyndall, this was at pick number 95. Big Game James broke the table in half drafting Tyndall. He really liked Channing Tyndall. And at first, me, I'm more of a Quay Walker guy. I'm more of a Nakobe Dean guy, right? But for the past few weeks, he said, Lord, you got to pay attention. Isolate this guy right here, Tyndall. Look at Tyndall. Look at Tyndall. And I'm looking at it like, man, Leo Chanel is right there, bro. Come on, But I let him roll with the Tyndall. And I started last night looking at his film and the way he pursued downhill, aggressive, not afraid to shed, disengage, shoot through the gaps. And when you look at that championship game, this guy was everywhere. Tyndall. This was a really good pickup for us because it's about mentality. It's about mindset, Cowboy Nation. It's about that. Look, before you guys start looking at the measurables, the height, the weight of a person, pay attention to the heart. Shoot. Chanel is a beast. Yeah, C. Burleson. Yeah, I was like, hey, anytime you get a boy who put Death Row on his sleeve, Death Row, y'all know I'll bring out all of my Tupacs around here. Look, every time he make a play, I'll be like, my body be punished for hard living. Hands to the strap, so prayers, so Father, please forgive me. Police be rushing looking when they see me. I flooded America's Most Wanted live on TV. Yeah, I'll be like, look at Leo Chanel, coming through the B gap, baby. Punishing. I'll come up with a whole rap line for Chanel, But it is what it is. Madman says Chanel is okay. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to you, Clifton. Thank you for jumping in. Shout out to you, Brown. It's on the Facebook. Sharing is caring. Sharing goes a long way, Cowboy Nation. So I appreciate you guys for sharing. Money, appreciate you for sharing. Appreciate you. Get the gunshots in the back. Too low. Yeah, gunshot in the back too long. Yeah, shout out to you, man. All right, so I went with it. All right, so at the 155 pick, the Cowboys select SMU, Danny Gray. And Danny, that would be what, a day, if 155, is that at day 3? That day 3, so many tears, yeah. VIP, so many tears. Local Dallas native or Dallas people, they know everything about Danny Gray. They know his handle, Can't Guard Me, number 5, right, on Instagram. They know about him. And when I spoke of him earlier, it's still April, so yeah, earlier this month, his agent reached out and said, yo, Law, you right on the money with him. And I'm expecting him to be day 2, right? And I was like, nah, but yeah, dog, yeah, appreciate you. And it is what it is. The dude runs a 4.3. 4.3 speed with 9 touchdowns with only 40 receptions. That goes a long way, Cowboy Nation. And Danny Gray, he will be a surpriser, special teams guy. You can line him up inside and out, and he's a bigger wide receiver, subtle speed. He get the ball, he explodes. And I think that Danny Gray will fit right on in with this system. But then, with the 167th pick, the Cowboys select D'Angelo Malone. Now, I don't have his all 22, so I'm not going to speak so much on him. But my guy, Big Game James, really liked D'Angelo Malone. And he was saying mostly because of his Senior Bowl tape. But if you guys are all in on D'Angelo, just look him up, pay attention to his skill set, and let me know. And this 176, these last 2 picks were mine. Taquan Thornton, or is it Taekwon? Is it Taekwon? I said Tay, but I'm just going to call him Thornton. The dude is fast. 6'3", wiry frame, right? He catch the ball, he's going down. I don't see a lot of yak action out of him. Kind of remind you a little bit of a Ted Ginn, Ted Ginn. Is it Ted Ginn, right, Junior? Kind of remind you of him, but faster. Wiry frame, and he can high point the ball. His release action is sick with it, baby. He got good feet. Hands, he's a suspect, but it appears that he's been working on his hands. Ted Ginn, 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 not Terry Glenn, but Ted. He reminds me of him, right? But his releases are better. And he's quicker. And Ted been in the league for a long time. He recently retired about 3 years back or 4 years back. But I'm going to tell you guys, this dude will take the top off the team. Hey, we used to say Florida relays. Shoot, this would be Dallas relays. You got a 4.3 guy, a sub 4.3 guy. You got Semi Fehoko who can run a 4.3. And you got also on this team, shoot, believe it or not, like Ripley's, C.D. Lamb, who got subtle speed. Now the Cowboys are the Dallas relays. Oh my gosh, man. R.I.P. to Terry Glenn. I met Terry Glenn one time, and of course, when he was here, Bill Parcells, man, he was just crazy with it, right? He called him she. Yeah, that's a whole different type of coaching there, right? But neither here nor there. I do like Wan'Dale Robinson, Madman. I do like him. And then the last pick, but not least, is a guy by the name of Marcus Jones. Marcus Jones. I think he had like 9 punt returns or something like that for touchdowns in his collegiate career. It could be 7. I could be off on the punt or whether or not it was punt or kickoff returns. Charge it to my head, not my heart. He had 5 INTs last year, and he's 5'0", right? And I kind of like him just a little bit over Villiers Jones because he play on the defense. Y'all know I'm all team defense. One thing I'm going to tell you guys about Marcus Jones, he's a weapon. I don't think the Cowboys will even look his way because he's 5'0". He's like 5'7.5", and they gave him a little favor and said, we're going to put you 5'8". But the guy got a lot of heart. He's like the Steve Smith. He's literally Steve Smith, but he plays on defense. And Marcus Jones can also give you offense plays. You know, it's just that he was so dynamic. He got good vision, a good vibe of the game. He's quick. He's elusive. I think he's a 4-3 guy as well. You know, so this is like Dallas relays, baby. I know that this scenario would never happen, and I'm not saying that this is the best scenario. When you look down at this list, you don't see any DTs, right? If you're looking at needs or what have you. And D. Hood says Steve Smith was a dog, right? And we're talking about Steve Smith Sr., right? The one that played for the Panthers. Right, that's Steve Smith, and I think he had a cup of coffee for the Ravens, I believe. I could be off, but that's Steve Smith, not the one that played way back in the days for the Giants. But this draft right here could be a situation that one of those guys off of this list can be just like this. Oh, baby, we'll go crazy. But it is what it is. Shout out to everybody that's watching. I thank everybody for tuning in. And the Cowboys, look, tomorrow night there will be a guy that you absolutely love. We'll get a chance and opportunity to put that silver and blue on. There will be a guy. We just don't know who he is right now.
Interested in trading up, just because I mean you hear Jerry talking about it. He got a follow up. He got a follow-up about trading up after he had said something about it at that press conference a couple weeks ago. And that sent him into a 5-minute answer where he just kind of talked around and around, but, you know, talked about how, well, it'd be foolish not to consider things and yada, yada. And then I think when you couple that with immediately after that answer, Steven says, we have 14 to 16 first-round grades, and that's so much lower than we've had in the past. Then I think it makes sense why you're seeing them look to move up. I think if the right guys fall to the early to mid-teen, like if you're talking about like 10, 11, 12, like get into the mid-teens or whatever right there, I think they would definitely consider trading up for the right guys.
Who would some of those names be?
All right, so they finna list the names of the guys. This is the insider for the Cowboys. Shout out to Bobby Belt. This is literally his rookie year, although Bobby Belt been around with the Cowboys for a long time. You guys may remember Jane Slater and everyone else that he kind of worked with the NFL Network and beyond. And Bobby Belt been writing some good articles as well back in the days and used to have his own podcast. I don't know what else he's doing, but he's working right with the Cowboys as being their insider. And Bobby Belt got some great opinions. And, you know, I always measure twice, cut once. But Bobby, he's always been right there on the money. Here we go. Let's listen to more what he have to say.
So I think if you're going up, you're either going up for somebody that really – I think you're going up for somebody you like regardless, but you're going up for somebody who really fits a need, being on the offensive line. I don't think you're getting Evan Neal. I don't think you're getting Ike Ekwonu, the top tackles who are probably going in the top 5.
Not even
so you're looking at Charles Cross, the offensive tackle from Mississippi State, a guy who I think they think could play left guard in the interim and then eventually be groomed as Tyron's replacement. That's who Broadus has said his body type reminds him of, is young Tyron. And he's a mauler, and he's played big SEC competition and done really, really well. Trevor Penning from Northern Iowa is the other one who he's a big guy. It'd be tougher for him to play guard, but I think he could do it.
Now, let me do this right quick. Let me do this right quick. As far as Trevor Penning, and let me find my little button for it right quick.
Oh
no! Trevor, I like his length. I absolutely do. I like his nastiness. but I do not want, and this is my, mindset of this. Is not no other person's mindset of this. I don't want him to play guard. I want him to come in and play tackle only. Whether you start him at right tackle and work his way eventually in the future to be a left tackle, I think that would be better suited for him. I just don't see a lot of bend out of his frame. He kind of stand too tall and upright. He got long extensions. He's strong. He's nasty with it, right? He is nasty. But I don't like him down inside. That's just me. And I could be 1,000,000% wrong. I just don't see his body type as being a guard. And just looking at his mechanics and the way he moves, he's okay. But I just don't want to see him trying to learn a position down inside. I would rather have somebody that already been groomed to be a guard or already had guard reps or what have you versus a maybe a developmental type of situation. Let's go with it. That's just my thoughts. I could be off, and if I'm wrong, I'll be one of the first people out here and say, "Dog, I was wrong on Trevor. Boy, he's killing people in the inside, and he's pancaking them." I love that,
And so I think they've been moving up for one of those. So you're either moving up for a real position of need, or you're moving up for somebody that you're absolutely in love with.
Splash.
And the guy that they would be absolutely in love with would be Drake London from USC, the wide receiver.
Is this what Lombardi talked about yesterday? Jerry's a lover, and don't be a lover. So that's the bad
it's
thing
not.
to do.
It's not Jerry though. That's the room loves Drake London.
No, I know, but Jerry's like he's just the face.
Yeah.
So it's like
to Drake London's defense, when you look at his tape, it's not a lot of separation. It's not. He is a bigger, taller wide receiver. Y'all put measurables down for Drake London if you can, if you got it right up, because I don't want to misquote the measurables. If I can take Drake London's mindset and just pick it up, hear me out, and put it in maybe a semi-Fihoko mind. Oh my gosh, we have us a great, beautiful specimen. Drake got the mindset to me. Yeah, I think he got the mindset. He's a in-the-face guy. He's chippy. He talk noise. And he's very intellectual when you listen to his interviews or what have you. He's very cerebral. And I like that aggressive mind, for him. So he's 6'4", 210, right? 6'5", 219. So yeah, I knew there would be some measurables. And my guy Henry says 6'3", 218. So he's right around 6'3 and a half-ish to 6'4 and a half, right? So he's right around that. If I could just pick his mind and say, "Hey, Simmy, come over here. Get over here." And put it into Simmy, I think that we would have a good situation there. Now, Simmy, at times when I looked at the UCLA tape, he lowered his shoulder. He gave us some little nastiness there. But he's like the guy that knock you down and help you up with a smile. But let's see how Simmy do going into his second year, right? When he pretty much understand what it need to happen. But the Cowboys already told us that he will be a hybrid, and I can't wait to see that. Yeah. Simmy UCLA, and then Drake London USC. Yeah. Let's see what we got from here.
whatever he thinks the whole. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's the face, except if they pick Taco. Then Steven's the face.
Right, that's Steven's face.
Was there any little bit of Steven that was like uncomfortable with Jerry's joke yesterday? I wonder how much of this offseason has gotten to Steven, if at all.
I can tell you guys, if you go back. Oh, was it Stanford? Dang, now y'all got me back. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Did he go to Stanford? He went to Stanford, right? Stanford. Okay, appreciate you. Apologize. His best game was against Stanford. I'm everywhere. Semi Fihoko best game was against UCLA. Changing my mind. Good Lord. Charge it to my head, not my heart. Simi Fehoko best game was against UCLA. I apologize. He had 15 receptions, 230 yards. Charge it to my head, not my heart. All right. So, yeah, it was Stafford. Apologize. The apologies. Do you guys accept my apology? And also was UCLA. Appreciate you. Do you guys accept my apology? Let me know before I hit play. Do you accept my apology? Because I don't want to have that dumb blonde moment, and I don't have a blonde hair on my body, right? Drake didn't have a knee injury. He fractured his ankle. This is from David. Appreciate you. Of course, appreciate y'all. See, nobody's perfect. I love it.
I don't think so. I think he appreciated it. He's, you guys have seen them when they're in their press conference mode. If Jerry's talking and he's on a long answer, which he was, that was that 5-minute answer he was given, Steven will kind of like stare directly off into the audience and kind of wait for his turn. And it was as soon as the joke came out, you saw him kind of like move from like chuckling, and then he smiled. So I don't know. I think he thought it was funny. I mean,
go back and watch that interview. And the moment Jerry Wayne and things made that joke, Stephen Jones like, oh, okay, Dad. Okay, you going to come at me now? All right, I got you.
he played around with it. But
do you have any comps for Drake London?
So Broadus thinks he reminds him of bigger Adam Thielen. To me, he's Michael Thomas.
Oh.
And so, I mean, like, he's a true X. He's not a burner.
Be careful.
But, I mean, he's a guy who, like, I heard somebody say this the other day, and I think it's totally accurate. It's like, it's not a 50-50 ball when you throw it up. It's 80-20, like consistently. Yeah. He is always just, mossing defensive backs, and there's not, his catch radius is insane. He's a big guy. He's 6'4". He's 220 pounds. He's not going to be like this burner. He didn't run the 40 this year because he's not going to do it. But it's one of the things I like seeing is when a defense knows that's all they got. That's the guy we got to take away, and you still put up numbers. Mm-hmm. That to me is like, okay, that says something in the evaluation. This is a guy who like consistently was putting up like 10 receptions, 180 yards, 8 receptions, 140 yards. Like, I mean, until he broke his ankle in the middle of the season. But before that, it was very like Michael Thomas volume numbers. And so that's kind of the same guy that I see. The catch radius is great. The hands are great. I mean, people have complained about he had some drops, but I think that's more of a factor of there was so much volume, and he's so often like got 2 people draped on him, pulling on his arms, and
Bobby Bell.
That's why I got Treylon Burks over Drake London. But it's a situation whereas I would look at the total versus I would look at the few. I look at the collective body of work, and I would say, okay, all right, cool. Cowboys got them a big target. And I don't want to hear, like, next year around this time, somebody just jumping out and they saying that, with Drake London. Breaking news. The Cowboys are now moving Drake London to the tight end role, and this is news out of Arlington, Texas, and you guys now hearing it first from blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear that, if you want to get a tight end, you draft one. You draft Greg Dolchik. He's from UCLA, right? He's from UCLA, LA. You draft him, or you go with Trey McBride, if you really want those tight ends. And the same could be said about if you want a safety, draft one, Cowboy Nation. That's my only pet peeve. Like, if you really want a safety, draft one. Don't draft a DB or a cornerback, I meant to say, and say, you know what? This guy, he can play like Jaquan Brisker at safety, although he is a cornerback. If you want Jalen Petrie, draft him. Don't go try to go down this thing and say, I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to make him something that he's not.
Cowboys Insider in studio. NFL draft coverage tomorrow night, brought to you by Pluckers and Miller Lite. What is your order? Or if you know their order, that's even better. But what is your order of Cowboy draft needs?
Uh-oh.
I think they believe their order is offensive line, receiver, and edge. I think that's accurate. That's the thing I'd heard consistently coming out of Indy, and I think the more you hear and see who they're talking to and find out where they have guys ranked. I think that's what you're seeing it break out. I think in their dream scenario, they would get an offensive lineman in the first round, they'd address receiver in the second, and then they'd get some sort of an edge rusher in the third. Maybe tight end in the third if the right guy.
Appreciate you, Will. Thank you so much for the donation. He says, thanks for the content, Law. It's been a rough off season. You ain't lying, dog. It's been one of those things, man. And
Want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
You right, man. I can't even handle that truth, man. I appreciate you, fam. I thank you so much.
Is there to them, but third, fourth, you can maybe flip-flop edge and tight end.
So in a dream scenario of drafting a lineman in the first round with their first pick, it would be for what position, ideally?
They want somebody, I think, with guard tackle flexibility. They want the future at left tackle, but somebody that could play at guard now.
Okay.
And so I think that's one of the reasons they have Kenyon Green. I believe they have Kenyon Green a little ahead of Zion Johnson, the guard at Boston College, because Kenyon Green, we've seen him take reps. He played against Alabama. Will Anderson, who's going to be a top 5 pick in 2023, had 31 tackles for loss this last year at Alabama, was getting stonewalled by Kenyon Green, who had to bounce out to left tackle and play that game. So Green can do that. There's a question about Green's medicals that I'm waiting on more information about today. There's a question about the knee. If the Cowboys went Zion over Kenyon Green, I think that would be the only reason why. But I think that's a legitimate question at this point, is how well do they feel about the knee?
What would the chances be of them taking, let's say,
Appreciate you, Sadiqwa. Thank you. Breaking news out of Cowboy Nation. Smash that like button and sharing. We have over 240 watching and only 96 likes. Come on, man. What's going on with y'all, man? What's going on with y'all, man? How we got those likes so down? Come on. If you're watching and you have not hit that like button.
Shame.
Come on.
Shame.
It's terrible. Terrible. But I appreciate all of you guys watching.
they stay at 24. Take an O-lineman. What are the odds that they move back into the first round later on?
Oh, I think next to none. I don't think they'd pick at 24 and come back into the first. You never say never, but I mean, I think when you hear Steven talk about like it's not heavy in the first and second round, it's deep in rounds 3 through 5. I don't think they're looking at doing that. In fact, I think if they were at 24 and they have a couple names they like, I could see them just moving back a couple. Let's pick up some extra picks later in the draft. We've already got plenty in round 5. Let's pick up a little bit of extra capital.
But you think it's more likely if you had to pick one, trade up versus trade back?
100%, because I think when you hear them talk about 14 first-round grades, they're worried somebody's not getting to it.
Here's what I want them to do, too. The 14 first-round grades that a lot of people say that this particular draft don't have a lot of first-round grades. 2 tiers in the bucket. Pluck it. I don't care about first-round grades. I don't want you to sell off everything just to say, hey, I got a graded first-round player. There are more Hall of Famers that was drafted in the late 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round than any of the first-round grades. I want somebody hungry. Write this down. I want somebody with a PhD mentality. Poor, hungry, and determined. I would rather have somebody who's really looking into this thing and saying, you know what? You don't have to question, do I love football or not, right? I'm in love with football. I want players that's in love. That Treylon Burks, he's in love with football. He don't just love it. He want to take the ball and destroy you with it when he get the ball in his possession. I want somebody who's willing to say, hey, I'm all in on playing football. I'm not trying to sell no CDs and DVDs. I'm not trying to sell no chain. I'm not trying to springboard my fashion career. I'm not trying to sell glasses. I'm not trying to do nothing but get the Cowboys back to the glory days. Those 90s high, we still talking about the 90s, and we coming down off of that high. And I'm tired. I'm tired of it, right? We need some guys, like we said earlier. Everyone have a reason, but results are what matter, right? I don't want to bring in somebody and say, you know what, I only think about football on Sundays. No, Sunday through Sunday, that's who I want. That's who I need. That's who I would love to say, hey, that person putting on the silver and blue. Cowboy Nation. All right, so speaking of that, we have a raffle that we're going to do during this particular draft session tomorrow and the day after that, and the day after that we'll be doing a draft giveaway for those who participate. And let me see if I can find the images right here. Super Bowl ring. It's a blurry picture, but shout out to my guy Barry Griffith. He the one sent me this information that I want to share with you guys. Also, signed autograph plaque, but this is the actual poster of all of those guys who lifted that Lombardi trophy up, right? And I want you guys to participate. And also, we have this plaque, of the resolutions of everything, but that's the best way I can get it there. But tomorrow we will have it live in my possession, and it will be all on 4K. So neither here nor there. To get these beautiful prizes or what have you, all you got to do is submit $25 raffle to Barry-Griffith-B. That's on Venmo. If you have Venmo, or if you have PayPal, you can submit your offerings there to bginspires@gmail.com, and you can enter to get those artifacts there. One of the two autographed triplet plaques shown in the description was $1,250 value, so you can literally put in $25 and walk off with a plaque. Or you can put in $25 and your name will be pulled to walk off with a value of $150. Or you can get tickets and upgrade to VIP event ticket, which is valued at $150. And of course, you can get those Super Bowl replicates for $25, and the value is right at $75. So be sure, screenshot this and support the nation by going to Venmo and reaching out to Barry-Griffith-B for that, and then you can pay via PayPal. Now, with all of that being said, Cowboy Nation, I hope that you guys have a beautiful day. I got an appointment that I got to run to at the top of the hour, and we got to get some business conversation going. Cowboy Nation, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure later on tonight I will go live again, and we will be talking about some more and more Cowboys content and beyond. You going to get my ticket? Shout out to you, Perez. I got you, Perez. I got you. We got a lot of guys that we will have at Cowboys Experience this year. And, of course, we always have of Zach Martin, of course, and, of course, my guy Michael Gallup. And we have some more guys that we're working on coming out to the event. Let me tell you, 88s always look good. Let me just put that out there. You wear 88. I ain't going to tell you who it is, but you can do your own research. But Cowboy Nation, let's go. I tell people all the time, for those who are out there, if you're up against the struggles, meet it squarely face to face. Lift your chin, set your feet, and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fall, you may conquer. See it through. You say the day before the draft, black may be the clouds about you and your future may seem grim. Cowboy Nation, listen to me. Don't let your nerves desert you. Keep yourself in fighting trim. If worse is bound to happen in spite of all that you do, remember this one thing: if you don't know anything else, running from it will not save you. Even hope may seem but futile, then with trouble. Old troubles, they don't last always, Cowboy Nation. May be beset, but remember, you're facing what other legends have met. Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, the great Emmitt Smith, the playmaker, baby. I'm here to motivate you guys just a little bit, get you up out of your shell that you may be in. But in actuality, just like I said earlier, I want you to have that PhD mentality. I hope you're writing this down. That's poor, hungry, and determined to make it happen. And there's somebody's future that's going to be changed forever as soon as they lift up that draft hat and it says the Dallas Cowboys, the mighty Cowboys. And we've been running around with this organization for over 26 years. And we don't fold, baby. We still marching to this beat, grinding without faith, telling everybody how about them Cowboys, right? And there's somebody tomorrow, when they put on that Cowboys hat, woo! It's gonna change them for the rest of their lives. Let's make it happen, Cowboy Nation. Let's continue to grind, to shine. Speaking of that, that's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. Let's roll these credits. Yep.
I just wanna
run it up, baby. One time. Shout out to you. Come on.
I've been really in the field, lot of rush, I love the feel lately. I just wanna
one day at a time. Shout out to you, Sadiq. Shout out to you, Dallas 8 and 9. Thank you for your mind. I appreciate you, K. Jackson. Appreciate you, Sadiq. One love. Cowboy fans, type one love in the chat.
Lately, I just wanna
you're a real one, type
need them
one.
Ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need
Come
that
on.
change to the safe, got blues inside.
Hey,
Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Reverend now.
Who with Law?
I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now.
Come on.
Still the same, now
Oh, it's
switch
still
sides,
me here.
now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's
What's somebody gonna be hitting this move?
Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer.
Call it too legit.
I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. I can take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Yep out. Salute.